Hello, Rob fans. Reason number 7 not to trust John Venditto and his board. Demand an independent forensic investigation. Residents of Oyster Bay deserve to know what's going on. Reason number 7, the real scam behind the Littauer Estate. Yes, Mr. Venditto wants to claim I'm a liar. I claim that the town absconded federal money. Well, I just want to show you these documents I obtained through the federal government through FOIL. The town's got the same documents, but they haven't supplied them to me. And when you withhold information, Mr. Venditto, I can only make assessments on the information that I obtain. Okay. The money wasn't absconded, but it was diverted, and I'm going to explain how and why it was diverted, although I think you know how and why. Back in 2009, the town did a grant application. Okay, Town of Oyster Bay, energy efficient projects. We're talking about energy efficient projects. Town of Oyster Bay, energy efficient projects. Install solar, geothermal, and other energy saving items to historic barns for public education. The amount they asked for was $2,217,000. The start date was September 1st, 2009. In May 2009, Mr. Venditto signed off on the project. All right. Mr. Venditto also signed the necessary documents in June 2009 to ensure that all the contractors paid their laborers the prevailing wages. He also signed an authorization assurance, June 2009. Now, along with the town's application for this, they had to include budget information. Federal money, $2.2 million. Non-federal, $162,000, which, by the way, the town also received a state grant for over $200,000 for this project. The town also had to provide activity worksheets. These explained the work they were going to be doing. Overview of climatic systems. Existing building installation upgrade. Overview of photovoltaic systems. Overview of climatic systems. Existing building installation upgrade. Along with those reports, a project summary was needed. Project budget and labor. This is getting pretty, specific. It's pretty obvious that an engineer was required to do this application, and obviously these plans had to be drawn up for the town to come up with these figures. I mean, we have a detailed budget, the geothermal radio and heating and cooling system. Go through them all. HVAC, existing building installation. Now, this is an email that I got in this package. It's between two federal employees, but it reads, just to give you a quick update, we spoke with Oyster Bay again today. They are getting the information they need on the geothermal systems from their engineer. So yeah, the town has an engineer. Now these are some email documents that I obtained through this FOIL. All right, they're between federal, get that back in focus for you, stupid thing. They're between federal employees and Colin Bell. Okay. And what it's saying is that the subcontractor, Doug Wilke, the architect engineer, okay, the amount proposed for this subcontractor in this project is $430,000, and the description of the work is architect and engineer design of the geothermal system. Okay, that's nothing about drainage, no other work that Doug did on this job, when Doug did a lot of work on this job. We're just talking about the design of the geothermal systems. All right. Colin Bell confirms. Okay, the contract Doug signed for the design engineering portion of this EECBG contract or project is for $430,000. Okay. This, what you're looking at, is the federal reporting the town did at the end of the completion of the project. The town of Oyster Bay has completed this project within this quarter. All allocated ARRA funding has been drawn down and fully received, fully completed. Number of jobs created, 2. Description of jobs created, design engineer and design engineering assistant. The only people that got paid period, through the federal grant money was Doug Wilke, $430,000 for design work for projects that he never did. They were never done. There was never any intention to do them. Take a look at this. This email that explains that Doug signed that contract is dated October 26, 2010. 9 months later, see if I get that in focus for you because this is important. 9 months later, August 17, 2011, the town contacts the feds and says the town of Oyster Bay would like to use this grant funding to replace the existing high-pressure sodium HBS with energy-efficient LED street lighting on select main roads throughout the town. So the town went through this whole project with Doug Wilke, $430,000, to draw up this application and these plans. And months after receiving the approval of the grant, diverted $1.9 million, the majority of the money, to do street lighting. That is some scam. General information. The new activity will be number 4, energy efficient street lighting. August 2011. The following activity has been added to your current statement of project objectives. Town of Oyster Bay, energy efficient street lighting. August 2011. Things get interesting now because, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious the town never had any intention of doing any of this geothermal work. Geothermal. I mean, when you look at the videos that I've put up regarding Littauer and you see the condition of the barn that they proposed all this work on, who's fooling who? This is a report from the town, U.S. Department of Energy Environmental Questionnaire. The town had to fill this out. And you'll read here that the town received a grant from the New York Dormitory Authority to shore up the foundation, and this work will begin in upcoming weeks. Well, I'm pretty sure that out of the buildings, there were 3 buildings that I observed on building plans that had foundation work done. I don't know, one of the buildings isn't even there anymore. This is a whole another avenue to explore right here. But this is where things get real interesting. In 2007, the town of Oyster Bay acquired a 25.29 acre property located on Split Rock Road in Oyster Bay Cove, New York. The estate was among the many on Nassau County's North Shore Gold Coast areas. The town acquired the property for $5.8 million through its Save Environmental Assets Fund. Now, what's really interesting about this is that Mr. Venddito and the town board, hey, they like to claim that, that we got that building for nothing. Well, let me tell you, people, the Save Environmental Assets Fund, those are our tax dollars. This isn't like we got a free building. Now, I really find this interesting because this is Rob Walker, okay? New York politician. His political career. Walker has started out as a summer intern for then Nassau County Legislator Ed Mangano. He moved on to become the assistant to Town of Oyster Bay Supervisor John Venditto and Director of Traffic Safety and Constituent Services. He then went on to become the Deputy Commissioner of Parks for the town of Oyster Bay. He was a major force behind the Save Environmental Assets Fund Committee. Rob Walker was the major force behind the committee that procured the funds to buy the Littauer Estate. And this gets great because we all know that the town then provided Linda Mondello with a job as a historic preservation consultant on the Littauer Estate. And what's really interesting is this is a portion of the requirements the town has to obtain the grant. Historic preservation. Prior to the expenditure of project funds to alter any historic structure or site, the recipient or subrecipient shall ensure that it is compliant with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, consistent with DOE's 2009 Letter of Delegation of Authority regarding the NHPA Section 106 applies to historic properties that are listed in or eligible for listing in the National Register of Historic Places. If applicable, the recipient or subrecipient must contact the State Historic Preservation Officer and Tribal Historic Preservation Officer to coordinate the Section 106 review outlined in 36 CFR Part 800. Then it gives you the contact information. But yet, when the town reported to the Department of Energy their historical preservation report, they reported that, have you utilized a U.S. DOE executed historic preservation programmatic agreement in order to comply with the National Historic Preservation Act requirements for all or some of your U.S. DOE funded EECBG, WAP, or SCP activities? And the town answered no. I got to get this one in focus for you folks. No. All right? If your answer to 1C above is no, then for any activities which you did not utilize a PA of Historic Preservation Review, have you otherwise completed the National Historic Preservation Act requirements for those activities? Not applicable. You know why it's not applicable? Because there are no historic buildings at the Littauer Estate. It's a big scam. I don't know, folks. I don't know how else I could explain it to you. I could go into the additional monies that were spent by the town after they moved on past the federal grant. Over another $1 million wasted on nothing. A big project at the Littauer Estate. Who benefited from any of it besides Doug Wilke? It's a scam of major proportion. All I can say is I hope that the proper authorities are reviewing this.